Well, Brian, here we are in Bogota. You're about to fly back home after the World Cup. What's your thoughts been on the competition as a whole so far?
Well, the competition's been a fantastic experience for everybody. I think players and staff alike. Obviously we're very disappointed to be going home at this, relatively early stage. It's interesting, really. I watched the Nigeria game again yesterday afternoon with Stuart Pearce, and we played very well, and the one thing we hadn't been doing in the previous games was creating clear-cut chances, and we really did, produce probably 3 or 4 terrific opportunities to score, but unfortunately didn't take them. And at this level, if you create those sort of chances in a game against the quality of opposition we've had, then you need to take at least one of them, and we failed to do so, and it cost us dear. I think overall the players can be very, very proud of what they've achieved, when you consider that it was a team that was very much thrown together at the last minute, that has grown with our week's preparation in Denver. It's a tough group. Korea, Argentina and Mexico is a tough group for any team to compete in. And I think to get through that group, undefeated, admittedly they're all 0-0 draws, but we did create some good chances against Korea, should have won that one. Argentina was a great experience, 45,000 people, fantastic atmosphere in the stadium, 8 o'clock kickoff, and we held our own. We had a couple of chances, Argentina had a couple of chances, and who knows, they could even go on to win it, possibly Argentina. So, and then the Mexico one, of course, was a different experience, going up to Cartagena. The humidity was unbelievable up there. I think both teams really suffered badly in that humidity, and that got us through, of course, to the last 16. But overall, a fantastic experience for all the players, and I think something they will remember for the rest of their lives. And I've been very fortunate. I've got very experienced staff around me here. People like Gary Lewin and Stuart Pearce and Martin Thomas, and people like Carol Day as well, who's very experienced. I think that's been helped enormously, with the difficulty of the trip, with the players coming in late and so many players not being able to come due to the clubs not releasing them. We had it tough in the end. We had to send 2 players home. Ryan Noble went home. Dean Parrott went home. Had we got through, we'd have had to send Reece Wabara home. So we'd have been going into a quarter-final against France with 3 key players missing. So we were running out of players in the end, to be honest. I was delighted to work with them. I've worked with them for a month. I know Stuart feels the same, and Tomo. They've really, really grown as a group of players, and it was a pleasure to work with them. As you know, I assist Stuart with the under-21s. We had a good chat about it prior to Stuart going back. There's an under-21 get-together coming up in 2 weeks' time. We spoke about 3 or 4 of these players, and hopefully, if they continue the good form in their clubs, then they can have a chance of coming through to the under-21s. People like young Jack Butland, who's a 93 birthday, giving 2 years away. Young Saido, who's again, had his 18th birthday while we're out here. So we had a very, very young side. And they all acquitted themselves very, very well. So, as I said, fantastic experience. I think for the staff as well, coming to South America, at altitude, various altitudes, humidity, heat, all those issues you've got to deal with, it's held us in good experience. And hopefully, if we do qualify for Brazil in 2.5 years' time, then we can pass on some of the information to the New England head coach. For me personally, I think 2 things are going to happen. I think hopefully FIFA will sit down and possibly think about putting it in their own calendar, which will give us a little bit more clout with the clubs to bring the young players. Possibly as a federation, we've got to look at mandatory release. And when I say mandatory release, I think the clubs have got to trust us. So, for example, on this trip, I wouldn't have been selecting Jack Wilshere, I wouldn't have been selecting Phil Jones. But people like Gary Gardner at Villa and possibly Josh McCreeken and maybe even Nathan Delfonso, players like that, would have benefited enormously from this fantastic experience we've all had here.